Hello, good morning.
Morning. What's going on?
Um, what's going on? I am getting ready for a client to come to my house.
That's right.
I'm excited because I haven't seen clients in months. Um, so I have my spare bedroom now is my little treatment room
hmm
again. So it's good.
How's it feel?
It, I mean, it'll feel good when she gets here. She is now 10 minutes late.
But
uh, so let's see. But we're gonna
how's it feel like
mm?
doing it again
Yeah.
after being off for so long?
Well, no, that's the thing. It's like I haven't done it yet. It'll be fine. It's this part that's
Mhm.
the prepping and all that stuff. And like I
Right.
did a meditation this morning. So I can be calm and because touching people is I need to be grounded. But I did a meditation last night and I did one this morning and it feels good.
Oh, nice.
hmm It was funny. I was in a meditation room and Ahmed came in.
What happens in a meditation room?
Oh, uh, group
It, I think it'd
syncing.
be funny to have a meditation room and you added people as speaker, and if they spoke, you have to kick them down to a listener. They're like, no, you failed.
That is what happens. I've been in several. Yeah, that is exactly because it's like interrupted. Some people, the interrupting cows come in all the time.
Yeah,
So it's a thing for sure. But most of the
the interrupting cows.
yeah, most of the time, most of the time, the person that is doing the meditation will just be up there by themselves, be on stage, and then when it's done, then they'll bring people up and chat about it. It's like, do you ever have, do you ever meditate?
hmm
Okay, yeah. So guided, especially right now where I'm just
Yeah,
all over the place, my brain will not, I cannot. Hey, Peter. So it's so crucial. And it's cool because it's a group. So it's like like I don't like using that word, but the group the group combines energy and force. And it's
I remember there was this guided meditation from Ram Dass, and he was like, every time you breathe in, imagine that you're breathing in this entire gold substance into your heart. And I'm like, what
yeah,
the shit? It was crazy. And it's
yeah,
like, now imagine yourself bigger. Now you're bigger than the city. Now you're
yeah.
bigger than the earth. Now you're bigger than the solar system. And imagine how you feel now looking down at all of creation. And he works you back right into your body.
It's
It's
pretty amazing, I think.
yeah. If you do it with the right approach, right? Most people are like, oh, this homework or something like that. There's this thing called shikantaza, which you just sit down and shut up. And that's the whole practice. What are you doing? Sitting down and shutting up.
Yeah, that is exactly right. Um,
I just didn't know there was a word for it. I read a book called The Beginner's Mind, and it said that the reason that people fail at meditation is because they think they're experts at meditation.
right. And what is meditating except, just
Sit
concentrating?
there and shut up,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
You know, of course, you would like to do these other things, but who's to say that, struggling with meditation isn't where you're supposed to be at that moment? You
Right.
know,
Exactly.
the struggle isn't necessarily a signal to move away, but to move towards.
Right. And so in that moment, like a lot of people are like, oh, I gotta empty my mind. But it's not. It's just like we have our
Yeah,
thoughts,
yeah,
we
yeah.
have our thoughts.
Now you're just having a conversation with yourself at that
Yeah.
point.
So basically, and it's like I think Deepak Chopra is the one that says, just listen to it, see it, feel it, let it go, like let it pass, like that. Like it's a wave. It's basically a wave. So the wave comes, you feel it, you like it lifts you, or it knocks you, and then you like stand back up. Like that's how I feel like my thoughts in my meditations.
Mhm. Yeah.
hmm
What do you do with the thoughts that emerge from the wilderness of your consciousness? What
Well,
if you did nothing at all?
nothing except to think and think and think and think. So I think that's part of my own meditation, which is just like, all right, what are you doing about it? Like you have these thoughts. So like right now I'm really trying to get better at like writing. Just I've always had a notebook next to me, like ever since I was a kid. So I've always done that, but I haven't been doing it for so long. That it's like, all right, all these words and thoughts are in my head, and it's like it's good to bring order, and it helps with other stuff, neuroplasticity, and all these things that I need to.
Well, think like as like because I'm Guyanese and that has like Hindu lineage, like we grew up with all of that. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
exactly,
Like
exactly.
all of it. My parents like had all of these books, and my aunts and uncles had all of these books, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? Like even
Hmm.
first of all, like Hinduism's kind of strange because when you're a kid, you go to temple and then you see this elephant with 8 arms, and like, so hold on, wait a minute. You guys are saying that's supposed to be God?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you have no frame of reference for anything that, like all the iconography
Uh-huh.
that's used. And when you study it, you realize, okay, elephants are really strong, and imagine how strong an elephant with many arms would be. You know what I mean? That kind of vibe.
Right.
But when you're first presented it as a kid, everything's happening in Hindi, so you have no idea what's happening.
Right.
You
That's
know,
true. Do you
right?
speak Hindi?
No,
No.
no.
Do
That's
you
what made
understand?
the temple even more confusing.
Mm-hmm. You understand it?
No,
No.
no, I wish I did.
No.
But like my aunts, uncles, my parents, I ended up, when you get older, you start reading the books your parents held dear to them,
Uh-huh.
right? So I started reading like fucking Krishnamurti and all these people,
Mm.
right? Remember you got that book? How are you in Stepping Out of Self-Deception?
Oh
Hmm.
my
It's a,
God.
it's a tough book,
It
right?
is the most dense and difficult book I've ever read. And like the first book your mom handed me was Cosmic Consciousness. So
Yeah,
come on now. Like,
yeah.
yeah, Mike's family is pretty incredible. Like his mom, every time I see her, she's just handing me new books. It was like the best
Mm-hmm.
family to marry into. I know. I'm in love with his mom.
Aw.
We're best friends.
Aw.
Like it's an incredible family to be a part of. I
Incredible.
feel blessed. I feel very blessed.
Adorable. Fucking adorable.
Where are you in that book?
Which one?
Stepping Out of Self-Deception.
I think I'm only in the third chapter, but it's oof.
What are you getting from it? That guy's like,
It's it's not like I'm reading something new because it's all of the ideas of Buddhism and like Hinduism, but it's like written in a way that my brain is finally understanding it.
hmm,
So it's like I get that like all of what we see is self-deception
Maya.
and like my desires are what's holding me back from my own happiness. But the way that he's writing it makes it so tangible that I kind of get it in my gut body, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. I like that. I think I copied the name down. I'm gonna look for it.
I highly recommend it. It's a tough book. You can't just read it right through. Well, maybe
Yeah.
you can.
Well, yeah, I guess it depends where
I
you
guess
are.
it depends on what type of human you are. But I'm like, read a paragraph, sit for myself for 10 hours. Like,
Yeah. I'm going to put some of the quotes of the book to the top. I've talked to Matthios about it.
yeah, great, great book.
What up, Sugar
Yeah.
Tits?
Sugar tip.
Anyways,
How y'all doing today, Sugar Tits?
who's Sugar Tits?
Both everybody in
I
here.
think he's talking to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Ah,
Thanks.
Mike's sugar cakes.
What?
Them cakes.
Yeah,
Hey, don't
sugar
hit my
cake.
bum.
I just slapped him in his butt. His beautiful butt.
Hey, are you watching TikTok and seeing people slap their husbands' butts violently?
Is that what a thing is?
Yeah, they have like women that are like fucking sneaking up behind their husbands and like whacking them on the ass really hard.
Incredible.
And they do like really hard.
Oh my
And
God.
the guy's like, "Hey, what the fuck?" He's like, "Yeah, now you know how it feels."
Have you seen the banana?
What's that?
So somebody's eating a banana and like the guy's eating the banana and
Oh
she
yeah,
just shakes his head. She kisses his head and it goes all the way in.
what's so funny about that?
Yeah, what's so funny? What's so funny about that one, huh?
Why are you laughing? I don't think it's funny.
I,
Yeah, what's so funny about that?
Happened to
hilarious.
them,
Go eat a banana. Let's see.
right? You
I
should.
just saw a meme. The reason why is I saw a meme that says men eating bananas rules. Never look at another man at his face. Never look up. No, don't make eye contact. Break it off with your hand and then put it in your mouth.
Yeah, those are all the rules. I
Damn.
don't lie.
Oh my god.
Steps to eating a banana for a guy.
And I heard somewhere
That's
like
fucked
good girls
up.
eat it sideways. Good girls eat bananas sideways.
Yeah, I like it sideways. Sideways feels good.
That's really funny.
Sideways banana eaters.
Oh my god. That's so funny.
Sideways legs up.
With that shit.
Oh my
I
god.
swear these cats just get more and more degenerate.
It's
How you
good.
guys going?
It's
What up,
is it
P?
Just
inevitable.
talking about
Is it inevitable or inevitable?
inedible.
It's inevitable, Peter. It's
Inedible.
inevitable, Peter.
Right, you recover from
Eating it.
the tequila or what?
Man, yeah, I'm
Never
finally
again?
oh, of course, again.
Hey, an
Again and
honest man.
again. Of course, again, but yeah, it takes some time to bounce back after that shit. So, you can't just be laying around blowing joint after joint thinking you're gonna recover. You're gonna sit there
Right.
and eat. Yeah, you gotta take a whole day. But
Oh,
yeah, I'm feeling good.
we're gonna get together. Sorry, water's running. We're gonna get together at 10 a.m. your time with Mel and Sandra, so I can show you guys how to do everything I did with the website.
Are you
Fuck yeah.
you want to send the link the Zoom?
Yes. Yeah. I'll
And
send it.
then I also well, I guess we can chat there too because I had a couple of other questions about stuff.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
mhm.
Yeah. We're also
And
gonna
then
be. Go
I
ahead.
want to do the watch party. I really want it. We can't. I want to do the watch party
Oh yeah.
after we sync up on Saturday. I want to schedule maybe having them on there. Maybe we can all watch a preview and see if who's down to watch it because
Yeah.
it's so indicative. I mean, it's par for this for real for the course. So
I like it. I've
yeah.
done it before.
With it.
I remember my friend had like a friend who came out with a movie, and they were like, "Hey, we're doing a Zoom premiere." I'm like, "All right." And there was like
Yeah.
10 or 15 people that showed up, and then we talked about it after,
Yeah, exactly.
right? And it was kind of like a book club for people who didn't want to read a book.
Exactly. Well, and the cool thing is the thing about this is that it's about voice. It's a voice thing. I mean, it's a
Oh, shut
fucking
up.
movie,
Oh,
so it's
that's right. Yeah,
hilarious.
yeah, yeah. Right. Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
about the voice. So I'm like, it's a good lesson for homework, I guess. I don't know. But it's also HBO, so I don't have HBO right now. So that's the other thing. Like whoever has HBO is gonna be able to
If you
watch it.
got soap today, SOAP, the number 2 day, you
Uh-huh.
can watch any show you want.
Officially, you shouldn't use that site, and make sure that all of the rights holders
Yes.
experience the full brunt force of royalties.
I heard of maybe hypothetically, possibly something of that nature that I will DM you some instructions.
Yeah, we're just talking
Well,
about
why
like.
don't you? I'll message you, Ryan. I'll message you the name of the movie. The movie is called "Sorry to Bother You." Sorry to bother you. I think it was like a couple of years ago. Let me look it up. IMDb. I was trying to find it on Twitter, um, to post it, but
I want to shout
I
out.
saw that
Mm.
shit. That was fucked up.
You saw it?
Yes, I
The
got.
white man
And
voice?
it's hard. Hey,
The
welcome
the
to the. And he
white
got the star voice, and then they
the
have him up
white
there. He's
voice.
doing the
Here it
cocaine, and
goes.
oh man,
It's at the top, guys.
and he wouldn't sniff. That shit was
Dude, no, shut
good.
up. Don't say that.
Do it up. Yeah, yeah, I seen that. That shit was
Yeah.
fucking crazy. It was
Yeah.
good, but crazy.
Yeah.
And it definitely it really does ride side by side with what we're going through right now. How you have to adopt and
Exactly.
literally what you stand for, Mike. This
Yeah,
shit's fucking
exactly.
great.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not. It's kind of, you know. I guess the story is cool, you know, but then you kind of gotta be like, what the fuck? So often,
Yeah. It's all of it is what the fuck.
yeah, like what
All
the
of it.
fuck am I watching?
Wait, what
That's
just
how I
happened?
felt.
Wait, what? Wait. Okay,
Yeah,
now what? Now what?
yes, and then why? Why? Why would you in a movie? That's what it makes you say. You motherfuckers. So you picked that shit out, Mel?
See, Papi. See, Papi.
Oh, you crazy.
Yeah. It's up at the top, so check it out, guys. So that's gonna be the coordination. I think it would be, I mean, obviously everybody can watch it on their own, but it'd be cool if we watch it together post, so this week, um, whoever can sync up worldwide.
I love that. I think you could do a great crypto Twitter voice.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you wanted to, it'd be like, "Hey guys, welcome to Bitcoin solves everything. If you haven't realized it yet, Bitcoin solves everything. It's not
Bitcoin
really,
solves.
it's not really solving anything for me right now, but one day."
I swear.
We
I
gotta
don't.
try. We gotta try, right?
Yes.
Bitcoin ruined my life.
See, that would be part of the show. What happened, Peter? What was your experience of Bitcoin?
I sold it way too fucking early.
I was like, what happened? But yeah, I get that. Damn, that was good.
No, like I,
Man,
I used to I used to fuck around with the dark web back around Silk Road 2.0 around there. So I think I still had like zero point 0.1 of a Bitcoin left somewhere on like a hard drive that got fucking destroyed. And I was like, oh, whatever. It's like a couple $100. Fuck it, whatever. It's gone.
Oh no.
Just like looking back now, I'm like, you idiot. Like, you fucking idiot. Worse
you know,
than that yet. When
they-
Bitcoin first started, like maybe a couple of months into it, a mate of mine was like, dude, you should check this thing out. You can mine it with your PC. It's like this thing that's got a limited supply. You should totally get on it. And like, I'm going to get on it. He didn't get on, like, he did for a bit, but he did the same thing. He fucking lost it all. Not selling it or anything like that, but just like hard drive crash or something, because it was all hard drive wallets back then. Like, you had to have that you had to download the whole wallet and the whole blockchain to have a wallet.
if you look at any of my tweets, it's
Just
because
to think, like,
they're doing
I was
the
too young to realize what Bitcoin actually was going to be.
they're doing the Bitcoin trial right now in Norway.
And now I'm
Remember I
sad.
told you about the whole thing? Yeah, it's happening right now. And dude, if you like listen to the testimony, it's like, dude, because he only wanted to do this in court, right, where it really matters. So now he's in court, and he's basically in a European court that runs a lot differently than over here. The judge gets to ask questions, ask for clarification. It's fucking wild.
So yeah, I've been hoping that Bitcoin can change our lives. Pete, damn. It's the great reset, isn't it?
Dude, I don't want to go on record right now.
Oh man. Oh, I got a response back from that guy.
Oh,
And
I hope you
he
didn't.
said,
I hope he didn't hear all your shit yesterday.
Well, I sent him the video. You saw the video with
Oh, okay.
Casey?
Yeah, yeah. And okay, so you send intentional stuff. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So he goes, just watch. Thanks for sending. Very funny in a sad way. Nice
Oh.
job.
Okay, so he sees that you understand it.
Mm-hmm. He watched it 11 o'clock last night. We'll see what happens.
Oh, cool.
One conversation leads to another. Usually they go nowhere. Sometimes they go somewhere. That's how I'm looking at it.
That sounds good though.
I mean, uh, yeah. Yeah. It just, keeping an opportunity open. And it might not. The thing is, like, most people I meet that I actually do something with ends up happening like maybe 18 months after I meet them. Does that make sense? It rarely happens right away.
You mean a conversion or like your
Just like
emotion with somebody will
it's
happen
like
18 months into what?
an opportunity where I can actually help them, right? Because they'll come to me and be like, "Hey, I I need an opportunity now." And usually, if they're saying that, it's too late to have something happen now. Like it's actually mathematically impossible to make it happen yesterday,
That's this
right?
is this is kind of where I'm at. Yeah.
Right? But and so it's like I find that now that time span is shortening, but it's like there is a gap between when I meet someone, find out what they can do, and then end up coming across an opportunity where they can do what they do for compensation. I wish it would happen right away, but there's often a gap. So sometimes the initial reason that you meet the project that people initially talk to you about is not necessarily the project you work with them on. And when you talk to them for the first time, it's just an opportunity to have a relationship and to see if you enjoy each other's company. And then sometimes down the road, they hit you up and they're like, remember that thing we talked about 3 months ago? It's happening now. You still good? I'm like, yeah. And then you have another conversation.
You got to be tested and kid tested and mother approved.
And you don't know people doing background checks. They're having you tracked. You know what I mean? They're watching you fucking exhale, right? The higher you go, the more due diligence people are doing without telling you about it.
Yeah, they want to see how real your shit is. They're like, is he for real?
Right? Like I
Is
remember
he
like
really
talking to,
thugging? He said he was thugging. I don't know if he's
yeah,
thugging though.
it's like, is this Pusha T or Takashi 69?
Facts. Big facts. Man. That's far and few and
Right?
that's way, opposite ends of the spectrum for sure.
Right? They couldn't be more opposite. But arguably, Takashi sells more records than Pusha right now, no?
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
That doesn't mean you you. I mean, who would you rather have on your side in a dark alley, Pusha T or Takashi? Right? You
Oh,
know.
yeah.
So it's just one of those things where people can masquerade for a long time, but
Definitely understand that.
I've been listening to the same rap song over and over. I woke up in the middle of the night. You know when you wake up in the middle of the night and you find something and you're like, fuck, this is how I'm just going to spend the rest of my time? And you're just
Hopefully you
there for
find
half
it
an
and it's
hour.
good. If it's good when you
Dude,
found it in the middle of the night, you can spend the rest of the day being gravy. But if it's some deep ass thugging shit, you're gonna be eyeballing everything around your, in your coming at you, skeptical of everything, like watching
Do
like
you guys
hawk.
have your phone? Do you keep your phone outside of your bedroom? Is it in reach to your bed? Is it in your arm's
hmm
reach?
hmm
This is today I woke up at 4 a.m. and the first thing I did was grab my phone. I was so pissed. I was like, go back to sleep. I couldn't. I've been awake for 5 hours. I'm sleepy. Yeah. Oh, you're here. Yay. Okay. I'll see you guys later.
All right, Digger.
All right, bye.
Nice.
I put the video to the top that I was watching in the middle of the night last night.
Yeah, I managed to walk out of my hangover to pick my son up from school, and he's just been digressing ever since with the sneezing and woke up all night long saying, I want the mommy, my nose hurts. So we're not sending him in today. We're going to play it close. But yeah, up all night with a slightly groggy head from the hangover and tequila the night before, and a baby who's like, eh.
So you have like a tequila hangover, a offspring hangover, all kind of hangover.
Yeah, the offspring hang under. Oh, which more than likely will transpire into me. You know what I mean? Because that's how it goes. It's like, oh, I feel great, and then fucking 3 days later, when your kid's all, up and full energized, it smacks you in the face, and you can't. You gotta let your 4-year-old dance on your head while you.
Oh, yeah, because they've recovered and you haven't recovered from them
Yeah.
not having recovered before. Right.
And they
Oh,
passed
man,
it.
that's tough.
It's
Because you go from like, it's almost like you go from a different challenge. You have like someone who's like can't move, and now you have to be there, but you have to be fully awake. And then they have all the energy, and you're fucking spent.
so crazy. It's crazy. But
Love it.
it's coming. I mean, I know it's coming because
Hmm.
you have to hold him. You're not going to put your baby down when he's, needing that
Hmm. Of
comfort.
course, of
So
course.
it's like, okay, let's get ready, immune system. Let's fucking rock and roll. Let's take this fucking vitamin C, bunch of D3, and hold his little ass. I feel so
Are you
bad
work?
for like
Hmm.
teachers
Yes.
and like just general store. When I go into the dollar store or something like that, I respect those motherfuckers. Now, before you could go in there and you would be like, man, y'all niggas, I know y'all doing bad. Excuse my language. I know y'all doing bad. You got to work at the dollar store or whatever. But it's like, man, I wish. I'm so glad I don't do that. But then now you're like, man, y'all are front line. Y'all are going harder than the cops. You touch every dollar, every item that the world needs is, in every person, whether you can see it on them or not. They're holding something.
Mm, mm. That's a good point. Yeah, my wifey taught for math and science to high school kids for 20 years.
Oh God, dingy
Yeah, yeah.
non-washing hand motherfuckers.
Hmm.
You're not washing hands, and wiping it everywhere. But hey, what are you gonna do? Well, this was so crazy. So I'm dropping him off, right? And so they have these warm up programs. So you warm up for the parents can warm him up before you leave for the day, and we practice writing the names, and they stick their hands into the basket and get a marker so they can write their names. And the first thing I see all the kids do is pop the cap off with their mouths, right? They pop the cap off of the marker with their mouths and proceed to kind of write one letter, gnaw on the cap. And I was like, hey, baby boy, let's not chew on that today. And you got that one off, but immediately it's going right back in there. And everybody's going to pass those markers around. So.
What do you get? It's like, how are you going to stop a kid from being a kid? Good luck.
And but from what they're saying, we need to go get allegedly horse and animal antibiotics to take nowadays
No.
to fight all this other shit that they got, you know what I mean, coming out. Like, damn, bro.
Wow. Let me delete this from the top. Oh, come on.
So what's this about Do Kwon being arrested?
Shut up.
Yeah, they issued a warrant for him out in fucking North Korea. He's about to get arrested right
Hold on.
now.
South Korea or North Korea?
South Korea, right?
Yeah, it would be South Korea. Yeah.
Yeah, wherever the fuck
Wow.
he's got his shit, they arresting his ass. Like they coming to get that motherfucker for real.
Oh
Like
shit. So
they
you're saying we might see the Hangman, Lunch?
lunacy hanging lunch.
Yeah, lunacy. Lunacy is the best.
Right, it's lunacy hanging because you add the H at the end. That's lunch.
A court in South Korea issued an arrest warrant for Do Kwon, the founder of the Terraforms Labs cryptocurrency ecosystem, whose implosion earlier this year sparked a global crypto rout.
Sick.
What? See, there's that, and then there's the whole. It's interesting that depending on what level of the game you are, instead of just losing all your money, you're going to lose your freedom too.
Right. Right.
Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, like Bernie Madoff.
It's not just about money. Like if there's enough money, you go from. It's so funny because if you succeed, you're the king of the world. If you don't, we're going to put you in jail.
Right. It's either very, very good or very, very
Very, yeah. You're either going to get the cake or the guillotine, right? Marie
bad.
Antoinette, you know? But, right? Like, there's been this. Look at what happened to Theranos, right? That lady, right? If she was successful, queen of the world. Not successful, fraud. It's wild.
I can't imagine what that, you're, but at that point, at that level though, right? They issue an arrest warrant for you. The problem is it's fucking Korea, bro. Because if you got enough money, you can pretty much fight anything, right? In America. But
Well,
you out Korea, motherfucker.
well, I mean, Korea doesn't care necessarily if an American loses their money, but if you lose their money, maybe they're going to have a problem.
Definitely some issues going on there. So do you think he'll turn himself in there, or you think he's about to stay on the run? What do you guys think? 'Cause, I mean, that's an arrest warrant from Korea for your crypto.
I mean, in this day and age, I think it would be very difficult for even the smartest person to remain. You know, like Running Man by Stephen King.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Running Man wouldn't even be a movie. Be like, all right, now you're gonna have a 10-minute head start when you start running. And they're like, all right, we found you. What? Yeah, we found you. You forgot to take your Apple Watch off. Ah, fuck.
So easy.
With our ability to track each other, it's like, oh, there he is. Oh, look, he's going to the corner store. Now he's eating a bagel. Can you zoom in on the CCTV camera? Sure. There he is. You know, oh, he's having capers. Oh, he's a cultured guy.
Right. It's like they always know where you're at when you're that guy. What does anybody know what their market cap was when they fell?
Well, they were a top 10 cryptocurrency at one time, no? The Lunatero ecosystem. Luna market cap. No, I guess I have to put the dollar sign.
just like, damn.
Trade market cap was $1 billion. Trading volume was 12.
Trading volume was $12 billion.
Listen, Luna market cap until, when did everything crash? May? So 2022-05-01. That's when they would have been highest. So on March 3rd, Luna accounts for 2% of the global crypto market cap.
2%?
Yeah. On the next leg up, Luna market cap will be bigger than the USDC. April 13th.
Oh my God.
UST market cap, $17 billion. Yeah, they were number 14 at one point.
What up, Dan?
Yeah. Dan looked up from the typewriter.
So it's like, you're 2% of the entire fucking market. I think I'm happy in some way that they are doing something like arresting people, because doesn't that show that the wave is changing, centralization, the adoption we want is happening, they're holding accountable.
Well, you might think you're in a decentralized market until you get a letter from fucking the South Korean courts, and you're like, ah, shit, the law is still centralized. Yeah, motherfucker, the law is still centralized.
Oh wow.
I thought code was above law. Not in this country. Ah, fuck. Like there was a bunch of people who had that tornado cache that allowed you to anonymize your transactions. They kicked them off GitHub. And it's like, ah, fuck. You mean GitHub is? Yeah, GitHub is centralized. They're run by Microsoft. Oh, you mean Microsoft has to follow the laws of the U.S.? Yes, of course they have to follow the laws of the U.S. government, you asshole. What do you think you were? The thing is, when people are allowed to be pirates for a long time, they're often surprised when the Navy shows up. Hey, what's the Navy doing here? I thought we were... No. This is the Navy. There's a submarine right underneath your ass right now, and it's been there since you started. In fact, it was there before you had the idea. It's so funny because, like, I can't stop listening to this song. I'm like, can you imagine, like, in my head, this is the music that's playing when they're like, you know, when they have the SWAT team go to your building, right? And they're going up, and they're walking up the steps, right? And in my head, this is the song they're playing. Yeah, they should have
That
gave
does
the
sound
book.
like a kicker. Yeah.
I remember talking to a guy and said, "Yo, if they want to come find me in my country. Come find me in Colombia. Come to my city. Come to Medellin and come find me. You want to find me? Come. Welcome. We'll be waiting for you."
But I don't know, because it's like, at that level, man, you don't have to, right? He's a bajillionaire. Like, you don't have to turn yourself in. You can go get facial reconstruction.
Nah, man. The thing is, if they have money on finding you, that means they have incentives for people that find you. You know, how much money does it cost to pay off some random person to track somebody? And they track down the Silk Road guy.
Right.
right? You think that guy ever thought he was going to be found? No, I'm the smartest guy in the universe. Oh, really? Oh, really? I'm
I
untraceable.
just,
I know everything about tracing. Oh,
for
really?
some reason, I don't know if it's a stereotype, like something in my brain that I, I like sum Do Kwon up as a ninja, and I don't mean to. Like he can just disappear. Like he's Asian, bro. He can get low on that ass. You know,
Where are
he can
the
get
Three
low.
They all
Arrows
look.
Capitals guys now?
What's that?
Where are the Three Arrows Capitals guys now?
I don't know.
There's a lot of people looking for them.
So this would be Suzu, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Mhm. All right, let's see where Suzu's at.
we're gonna go Google them.
This is not gonna live by. Three Arrows Zoo worries about jail time and liquidator spat. That's August 2022. Yeah, the thing is, like, Three Arrows doctrine was $100,000 for a price of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah,
That was
which
that. They were hyper Bitcoinization.
I have. I mean, I'm sure it might reach that one day, but I don't think it will stay up there or go much further past that, unless there was some like worldwide adoption of Bitcoin.
Well, it's like you see what happens when you can be correct too soon.
Yeah,
You know, imagine like, man, that guy had a genius plan. He just launched 18 months too early, right? Look, do you know how many Three Arrows Capitals are launching right now at the bottom of the market?
tons.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
hard to see them at this time because they're not, they're not knee deep in their greed at the moment, doing all sorts of.
Right. But at the same time, I bet they're looking at Suzu and Do Kwon and being like, all right, so if we do this, there's a chance of us going to jail if this is successful and then it fails. A court in the British Virgin Islands in June appointed advisory firm Teneo to liquidate Three Arrows assets. They weren't able to meet margin calls because they were leverage betting, right? It's almost the same thing like fucking, what's his name? Michael Burry with the housing crash. I'm sure there's a ton of Michael Burrys that couldn't afford to keep their trade going. And you just never hear them.
Like the wheel just got to keep going, and then the next guy's turn, right?
There was I think it was Snowden that said it's interesting that when you go to conferences, by the fourth conference, they're talking about the thing that was discussed in the first conference again, as if it's something new, because the people from the fourth conference weren't there for the first one. It's dark.
Or you keep giving the same information to the new people in the field, so that way,
Mm-hmm.
after like 5 years in the field, you don't go to conferences because you're like, I already heard all
All
this.
right, I get it. You know what I mean? And then you're just, you know, while the talk is
Disenfranchised. Yeah,
well,
you're only going for like a cool vacation at that point. You're like, well, what city is it in? Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
but what ends up happening is you spend less time listening to the speakers and more time leaning up against the wall, talking to the handful of people that are actually doing something. You know?
Yeah, I know all too well. I get a lot of CEs from conferences, but over the years, because of video stuff, it's just so much easier to do that from home, and I don't have to like waste my time.
Oh, you get like, you mean continuing education credits for going to conferences?
Yeah, to maintain your professional licensure for my line of work.
Oh, right. It counts as education, right?
Yeah. I think kind of it's a big scheme for certain fields.
Oh,
It's like
oh yeah.
it's a fucking racket, dude.
Yeah.
Because you never have to take another exam to show competency. You just gotta keep spending money on CEs, and the best way to
Dude,
get them is at conferences.
it's, you know what? I stopped doing that stuff just to like, as like a point of like morality. Is like, look, I already studied for this shit. I'm gonna let it expire, but I'm gonna show it expired on my LinkedIn. Make sense? Yeah, I got that certification. It's expired. What?
It didn't like your expertise went away. You know?
Well, that's my whole point, right? You think I just forgot this shit because I forgot to pay you some subscription fee that you pulled out of your ass? Really?
Yeah, I gotta
Really?
pay my board like $250 a year to keep my
Get the
professional licensure. I'm like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah, and you're making me go through these, phishing scams that your own CFO fell for. Yeah, this is what we're doing. All right, fine.
Yeah, so nowadays I'm like, cool, if I listen to this podcast and I download this thing and take the quiz on it, I'll get a C. Great. That's way better than like spending a whole weekend glad handing people.
Yo, how do you create your own CE credit? That's what
That's
I want to
another
know.
business in itself, because all you got to
What I
do
want to
is
know.
teach the class once and record it and then make it available for a CEU and make
And then
somebody
you add
pay.
quiz.
Yeah, and you add the quiz to show, and you make the quiz
Oh,
dumb as donkey
yeah.
shit, like multiple choice. It will be like, this presentation was about blank. This presentation's main theme was blank.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
This
mean?
presentation was stored on what YouTube channel?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What video platform was this YouTube video on?
Exactly.
YouTube?
Yeah,
Yeah, 10
yeah,
1,000 points.
for sure. And then at the conferences, they have this thing on your smartphone. You have to download an app, and they
Yeah.
scan your barcode when you enter, and then when you exit, they show you stayed for, and they lock you in there. So if you have to go pee, like you can't. You have to like stay for the presentation.
Isn't it interesting that we just scan these barcodes and we have no idea what the underlying function is? Oh, just scan this. Oh, really? Who wrote that? Oh, never mind.
Yeah, you better download this or you won't get your CE.
What? What kind of madness is this?
It's fucking
You
insane.
calling me
I
a
was
fucking,
I was
you're
telling a
calling
friend
me
of
an
mine
asshole to my face.
who works in cybersecurity, what like the mental health field, what we do at conferences, because he had to go to a conference same town as me once, and we were just talking about. He's like, I can't even bring my fucking cell phone into my conference, dude. Like, the fact you're just downloading shit and scanning things left and right with people.
Yeah, like I used to have like my life insurance and mutual funds licenses back before the 2008 crash, right? And it would just like they would make you do you could isn't it doesn't it piss you off when you realize that the people who created this stuff don't care either? And you're like, well, motherfucker, you don't care. Why should I?
Oh yeah, we have a licensing board that you apparently can lose your shit through, but no one who ever pays for your services is aware of said license board, let alone their name or how to contact a complaint.
You know,
You
they
know what I mean?
created a union out of a certification. What the fuck?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. So hold on. So going back to the meat then. So what they're doing is they have content, right? Whether that's video, reading, whatever. And then the content is connected to a quiz. And based on your performance on the quiz, you obtain a CE credit.
Correct.
Huh. Huh.
And that C credit
Interesting.
goes to your governing board to then grant you permission to practice another year.
Yeah, I'm gonna play around with
You're
this idea.
mandated to take at least 50 of these a year, and they come at like $15 to $30 a pop per hour. So, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's not. I mean, it's cheap, but it's not. You know, I mean, it's all tax deductible. It's fine, but
Yes, but you understand how the capital flows.
yeah, you're like, this is all BS. Like, you're essentially like, hey, dude, let me essentially borrow money from you. You'll get hit back by the government later. Do you know what I mean? Do you see
And
what I'm
we can
saying with that?
and we
Like,
can show marginal recurring revenue for this business.
fuck yeah. It's essentially like borrowing. It's like borrowing from the government without. I don't know. I have my whole views about it,
Yeah.
but it's like freaking weird. It's like so pointless. Like, I give them $250 a year plus these CE credits, and then on top of that, like I don't get any services in return from them. The only thing that I get that I pay yearly on top of them is through the state to have a medical license. which
Yeah.
and that's $25 a year. It's $25, not $250 a year. That's $25 a year, and that's just to have your name listed when they want to come pop your ass for something bad. Yeah. So
Darn.
yeah, it is what it is. But I mean, shit. Hold on, I just came across a heroin needle. I'm gonna have to throw out.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I live in a city, so
Which city?
I'm not gonna say it
Oh,
online.
okay. No worries.
Yeah.
I'm in Canada.
Unfortunately, it's a pretty affluent neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
but we've seen a big increase in these lately.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it this way: no one lives within a 10-block radius that has a medium home worth less than 500,000. So, like, you know what I mean? It's not what you think out here. It's interesting, this heroin epidemic, all the reaches it hits. So I like carry around Narcan in my neighborhood.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts. And it's a lot of these rich. It's these rich like kids, man. They're like 18-year-olds who are doing this shit. It's
There was a
wild.
time when I noticed that the drug of choice changed. Like it went from weed to really hard drugs, like in Toronto. And when it went to
Yeah,
hard drugs, the crime started going up. And
yeah.
then like eventually shit like kids getting caught in the crossfire began happening. You know when that starts happening, right?
That's been happening in this city. We
Uh-huh.
just had a 15-year-old girl killed last night.
Fuck off.
Yeah, they don't give a fuck here.
Jesus Christ, dude.
And we don't have any police either, because the surrounding counties pay more. So who's going to
Oh,
work
wow.
in the dangerous city when you're not going to get paid as much and you might get killed? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not exactly the best brochure.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're going to pay you less, and
Yeah.
your medical won't be as good. And guess what? Here is where all the murders are. Or you can go to suburbia, and nothing will ever happen to you, and you'll pull over people for DUIs and shoplifting.
Yeah. It's like a more dangerous version of the military. Because
Yeah,
at least with the military, you're not deployed. But hey, do you want to be deployed on a daily basis? And the enemy looks like friends until they're an enemy
yeah. Yeah.
for less
Do
money.
you have the same occurrence to be shot in a rich neighborhood in this city as you do in like the projects?
Ah,
Like, yeah,
gee.
it's nuts. Yeah, it's pretty interesting for sure. I work from home, so I take the dog for walks, and I just see
Mhm.
things during the day. And there's a lot of people just because there's just a lot of people who have a lot of time on their hands. They're just home all the time. And I don't think they work. I think they just like sit around and do drugs all day. So who knows?
Drugs are a hell of a drug.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting? You're right. Like there was a certain shift recently where like
Yeah.
all the kids all of a sudden went from like, yeah, I'm gonna go smoke some weed and drink some beer to like I'm gonna pop pills and do some hard and
Well, the
shoot up.
crazy thing is they went from hard drugs to like the pharmaceutical, right? Which is the Adderalls,
Yeah.
right? So like
Yeah.
I went to school before Adderall was a thing, but Adderall became a thing, I guess maybe I feel like it's like 2008-ish. You started hearing about like Xanax and rap videos and shit. It's like Xanax. What is
Yeah.
Xanax? You know,
These
and
Annie
oh
bars. Yeah. Oxycontin. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. You'd hear
yeah,
yeah, they'd put it in their drinks. Yep. Well,
and
I was
and then
prescribed Adderall growing up, so it never fucked me up.
right. Well, then you get this thing though where fentanyl started seeping in to the, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then people would
Yeah.
like take Adderall and then have a fentanyl overdose. And like, why did they have a fentanyl overdose from taking Adderall? Oh, they're putting it in this now. And you're like, oh,
Have you heard
fuck.
about T2CB?
No, what's that?
It's this big drug that's huge in South America, and it's pretty big in Europe right now. But it's not actually. So if you Google 2CB, it's not actually what it is. It's the street name for the effect of what true 2CB would do. So it's essentially like meth, heroin, ecstasy, Molly, and cocaine cooked into like a smokable substance.
Mm.
And it's pink. There's if you like Vice did a really crazy documentary on it, where they went down to South America and got in with a cartel, and they were like, "Yeah, here's us cooking it," and like they're all just doing it. And it's pretty intense. But yeah, man, the amount of fentanyl he was putting in that thing was pretty insane. But he was like cutting it, I guess, in a way where like I don't know, but watch
it's
that.
almost like mutually assured destruction, but
Yeah,
drugs, right? Where
yeah,
they keep on having to up the game. Oh, you have nuclear bombs? Well, let's put it in the fucking fentanyl now. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And like,
Well,
well, like in The Wire, they were like, got that WMD, right?
yeah. Well,
So
also there are conspiracies out there that a lot of a really easy way to like to attack a foreign country is to get their population hooked on drugs. You know, stronger and stronger drugs.
very, very fair, right?
You know, yeah, and then and that will cause the crumbling of society. You know, and if I don't know if y'all listened to the Sean Ryan podcast, he was interviewing a guy who's a journalist in Mexico, and he said that a majority of their big chemists for the Sinaloa, I'm not pronouncing this correctly, probably cartel, are actually Chinese chemists. Take that and do what you want with it. But like, I was like, wow, like that's wild, man. Yeah. So.
Now the rabbit hole goes deep on it. Now you're watching a dude with a Russian accent talk about ideological subversion, you know?
No, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Right? But it's like,
Yeah.
it's even, dude, I'm reading this book called Flatlands right now.
What's
You
it?
ever, dude, it was a book written like 1880s, something like that. And, back in the day, though, like, people back then couldn't necessarily set, well, maybe you can't do it now either, but back in the day, like, you couldn't necessarily say what you thought, and so you had to hide it in stories.
True. Yeah, that's true. I never thought of it that way.
So you get like, if you look at fucking Through the Looking Glass, right? There's a lot of like biological and whatever. Oh, here it is. So this guy imagines a whole society, a whole Earth, based on people being flat. And either you're like a triangle, or women are straight lines, men are like isosceles triangles, the lawyers are equilateral triangles, and they set up this whole idea that all people are made up of these like are just basic shapes, like platonic solids in a way. And then after explaining how all the people work, he's like, okay, this is what we do with the irregularly shaped people. And it's so dark. I put it to the top. It says Flatland has zero shell.
I'll look into that. Sounds cool.
I am about to. Go ahead, Jerry. It's good to see you.
Hey guys, sorry about yesterday. I got rugged, and when I tried to come
No.
back, yeah. But anyway, it was interesting. You said something about international warfare via drug addiction. I used to be a meth addict. Spent about 5 years on meth, but it wasn't really meth. I just call it that. It was bath salts, but the reason it's relevant to the conversation is the main the main entry for these drugs is from China. They have pharmacies and laboratories. You can get online. They're just like not even on the dark web. You just go to the website. You put in, you shop their thing. You click. I want this drug and that drug and this drug. You send them payment, and then that shit arrives in a couple weeks. But yeah, so the bath salt epidemic that hit 2008,
I remember that. It was like, wasn't it like
2009.
videos out of Florida?
Yeah,
Something like that?
of people that were on that had stayed up on it for incredibly long period of time and had sleep deprivation psychosis, and like were like hurting each other and biting each other and shit. I think one person was like literally biting someone's face. But anyway, yeah. So China, which has like a huge interest in the downfall of U.S. society, exports huge amounts of that stuff, and yeah, it's just readily available. There's cartels certainly in South America, and like there's cartels everywhere, but one of the ones that's just so totally under the radar is like China runs website, or there's many Chinese manufacturers that run websites that can provide you with kilos at a time of whatever chemical you want, shipped, sandwiched between acetaminophen paracetamol tablets, like just regular over-the-counter meds, so that like they don't get picked up by customs. And when you do get picked up, it's like no big deal because you can order a huge amount of drugs for $1,000. Oh well, I got popped this time. Just wait until you get $1,000. You're going to do it again. And when you're
It's funny
moving
because I
drugs
think
that
that
big,
happened in
it's
the
nothing.
crypto markets as well, where it's like people are like, how are people doing this? Well, it's people outside the jurisdiction that could give a fuck about your law.
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting when you follow the money and stuff. Where a lot of where that leads. I mean, there's an argument there that some of the organized crime organizations that are backed by the CCP are even funding a lot of the drugs and manufacturing in Mexico. I don't know. There's a lot. It's just interesting. It's just like a rabbit hole I recently went down and was like, holy shit, man, that's crazy. Because, I mean, we do wild shit everywhere. We're not innocent at all. But, like, everyone does wild shit. But, like, when you really, like, see on, like, kind of, like, I don't know the term for this, I guess. But this kind of, like, warfare with people is really interesting to study.
U.S. has been awesome at it, or, awesome at it for a long time. We piloted societal warfare like with crack cocaine. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
We destabilized governments by selling drugs in South America and buying drugs and using those funds to help fund fascist dictators and shit that rise to power.
Like, how do you think the cartels get half the fucking weapons they have? They all come from the
Yeah.
U.S.
Yep. And not even accidentally. Like, you'll hear it on the news. Hey, we're giving so-and-so. All they have to do in the media is just say it in a way that's not alarming. No one's going to go Google that shit. And, oh, they're fighting, separatist forces and da-da-da. Well, why are they separatist forces? Oh, they don't have fucking healthcare and they're all starving to death.
Yeah, they're rival cartels, actually, but we're going to back this one. That's what's going on.
Yeah, right?
It's wild. It's wild to learn about. Yeah.
Ooh, I have another conspiracy theory just for the shits and giggles of it. The world's biggest mass production facility for anthrax is located in what country? And it's the United States.
Interesting. Why?
Why? Because the United States, after we decided we weren't going to quote unquote research chemical weapons, we decided that we needed to definitely research quote unquote remedies for chemical weapons, which you can't do without large amounts of chemical weapons, as their logic went. So it's a county called Vigo County, Indiana, which now houses a Pfizer facility. Was originally the world's largest anthrax manufacturing facility. And there are still islands in Scotland you cannot live on because experiments with anthrax.
Yeah. I mean, sure. Why not?
And it's not conspiracy theory. This is stuff I learned as part of my education as a weapon of mass destruction specialist in the Army.
That's wild.
You can get all from like published literature. But no more hijacking the conversation. What else y'all want to talk about?
My fucking brain just exploded. Fuck.
Yeah, that doesn't. Only reason that's like alarming to me really is like shit. If something were to go wrong with that, I would hate for that to be infiltrated by a wrong group of people or people. You know what I mean? Like to me, it's just like a big vulnerability, especially to the general public.
I'll take you one further, man. And this is just how much of a cynicist I am. The United States is the wrong people. It's the United States. We're the global source of terrorist activity. We have been for a long time.
Well, yeah.
And it's fucking it's crazy now. So that it's not still an
How do you
anthrax
think
manufacturing
Ukraine's able
facility,
to
quote unquote.
to push back Russia right now? I mean, we just do it all through private contracting now. We don't even have to send an army.
Yep. And it's you know what sucks is this is how good Russia's psyops machine is they're basing their illegal, fucked up, savage war crime activity on a fact. That fact being that Ukraine has a huge Nazi contingent. Like, because it does. They're armed, they have entire battalions of armed forces that are Nazis. The Azovs are just fucking Nazis. But they got absorbed into the regular military. So it's crazy to me.
Are they just
like,
separatists during peacetime? He just kind of lets them do their thing in that part of the land?
that they've I don't know too much of the geopoliticals. All I know is that the concentration of Nazis and neo-Nazi stuff
Yeah.
is crazy in the Ukrainian army, as
Yeah.
evidenced by like
I mean, I knew about that
their
before
own
the
media.
war, that they had a large population. But I heard, and I don't know if this is correct, I heard a lot of them were purposely kind of pushed there by Russia
Oh,
to kind of
that's
justify
crazy.
that as like a 10-year con since the first conflict in 2012.
That wouldn't surprise me at all, dude. Wouldn't
So,
surprise me at all.
Like, kind of like, hey, man, go over there. Go the fuck over there. You know?
so I'm curious on your take on what's happened with Ukraine supposedly gaining ground over the last 5 days. What do you think about that news?
Man, that's a really cool story, isn't it?
Well, this is why I want to ask.
Yeah,
else is going on?
that's my opinion. That's a really cool story.
What else is going on? Isn't it interesting how CNN
Exactly.
has exclusive coverage to do like, look how true this is?
Yeah. So the question is, what's going on in the court system in the United States that is trying to be distracted from? Perhaps it's a federal ban on.
Jerry, you're muted.
I think he got muted by the powers that be.
Damn.
It's
Cool
like, cool
story, bro.
Let me just mute your ass real quick.
Jerry
Bang.
got rugged by the man.
Fucking liver punch. Baz Rutten. I think about that a lot because eventually that's going to happen, right? Eventually, we're going to say something that's taken out of context or taken out of emotional context, right? And then it'd be like, your Twitter space has been shut down. I think about that moment.
Yeah, I always think about. Yeah, it's interesting. But it is their platform. Whatever, fuck them though. It just is like us as the people also give them the power to have that by us all using this platform constantly. We all want to bitch about it, but until someone comes up with another platform that isn't as restrictive, like, what are you going to do?
Well, that's what I've been looking at, though. Have you seen agora.io?
No, I don't know what that is. No.
So it's the platform that was the basis of Clubhouse. the technology platform. So it's basically Twitter Spaces as a service. So I've been looking into it myself.
Interesting.
Yeah, yeah. One of the first things that I mean, we've been having this space for like a good maybe 4 months now. So we have like hundreds and hundreds of hours of content
Oh, I've
at
been
this point.
listening to you on my separate accounts for a
Oh, get
while.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know how it is, and you know why I'm worried about it.
Yeah,
Right?
no, I get it. It gets left
You
field
know?
sometimes, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And um, look, you know how long ago we would have been kicked out of YouTube spaces?
Oh my gosh, instantly. Yeah. I mean, YouTube, you can't even criticize China. You gotta be careful with that. Like they'll take your ass down.
I think we all just got muted by the powers that be. No, I'm just joking. Well, maybe. Who knows? Can you imagine if they went a step further, where it was like they used their ability to turn my voice into an AI? Be like, I don't think anything of what you're saying is true, and I believe it is all false. It's not, I like wake up in the morning and be like, what do you mean? The Syndicate was running for 12 hours and I was hosting it? I don't remember that. And then I just hear myself talking like, that is false. That is not true.
Yeah. No. I always think about like I don't know how much everything is just absolute bullshit these days. It's like everything, every side of the political atmosphere in
The thing is
media.
though, like you
Everyone's
can
trying to
read.
sell you something. Everyone's a goddamn angle, you know?
The thing
It's
is,
just
like,
like,
but you can read though, and it sounds like you existed before the internet. A lot of these
yeah.
people who existed after the internet think that the internet is the Oracle of Delphi.
Yeah, dude. And you know what's interesting? I had a sister 7 years older than me who raised me pretty much, kind of. And so I grew up seeing her friends and her interactions and everything. And so I grew up kind of like idolizing that world. So, like, when I went to college, everyone just started to get cell phones. Like, no one in my high school had a cell phone, right? I mean, people had cell phones, but I was from a poor area. So no one was like, oh, let me just call you on my parents would be like, why the fuck do you have a cell phone? You can barely afford a car. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I can't remember when I got a phone. When did I? I had
I
a
got my first phone
phone.
in like 2006.
I think my first phone was a Nokia brick.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a pay-as-you-go phone from the gas station because it's where I
No,
grew
no, no. Hold on. No, no, no. The first phone I ever had was a pager.
up.
I had a
Hell yeah.
pager first. Yeah.
Definitely the
You're,
beeper, bro.
Michael, were you a drug dealer? I'm just kidding.
No, no,
Definitely
no.
had two
I
or
only
three
had one pager.
beepers.
This page is for my girlfriends, it's for my
Yeah.
business, it's for my other
Yeah, I had
girlfriends.
those friends. I'm like, how many pages you got? Well, this is for this, and this is for that. I'm like, so you have like a bat signal for your dick? Pretty much.
Hey, how did you? This sounds like a dumb question, but I was watching a movie the other day where somebody called somebody from one payphone to another payphone. How the fuck does that happen?
I always wondered that. Like all these things, like
Would
they're in
you
the middle of
page
nowhere
me
in the
from that
desert.
payphone number? Be like, yo, call me at this number, and you just be like
Oh, God.
waiting for 5 minutes.
Dude,
Yes,
if
that
there
is
was ever a
exactly how
payphone
it
that rang
happens.
beside me, and I would totally never answer a payphone that rang beside me. I'm like, totally, there's a bomb in there.
Well,
You
Yeah,
know?
if
first
it's
off, you gotta
ringing, I'm not
own the
picking that
phone.
up.
If you own the phone and you don't let nobody else use that phone on that corner, yeah, you can wait there all day for all your phone calls. That's a fact.
That's true.
That's just like they gave you a phone. If you can hold that phone.
Oh my god.
Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. So I'm gonna show Ryan and a bunch of folks how to create a website. This is good. I'm gonna see you guys soon, unless we get kicked off permanently, in which case
That was
we'll figure it out.
crazy. Do you think they really just booted him off of that?
No, I mean, you never know.
Damn,
The
damn.
future is here. It's just not evenly distributed yet. You know.
Right, right. All right, well, I'm
Gibson.
gonna holler at y'all in a minute.
I'm gonna send you the link in the group. Yeah.